Alright, so today, I'm going to be going all the way from Power 1 to defeating Etheron in Deepwoken, but I'll be drawing tarot cards to determine everything to do with my build. All my stat points will be completely random, all my talents, all my mantras, my weapon class, everything. And on top of that, there's special cards which either give me a punishment or something that help me along the way. It's a bit difficult to explain, so the best way to show you is to just go straight into the character creation and show you exactly what I mean. So I got different sets. I got set 10, 8, and 3. And these are going to be used to get my attunement, my boons, my flaws, everything about my starting character pretty much. Let's start with the attunement. I've got 1, 2, and 3. That's how many I'll have. So let's see with that. The more the worse, because if I got more attunements, there's more things for my stats to be going into. And that just means they'll be distributed way too much for anything to be useful. So I'm gonna hope I'm getting one here. Solid start. Alright, so now I've got to use 1 to 8 to choose my attunements pretty much. And if I get 1, I will have no attunement. So I'm just gonna hope I get a 1, because otherwise I'm gonna have 3 random things that my stat points are going into. And I highly doubt I'm gonna get enough points for it to be useful. So we got 3, that's Frost Draw, 7, which is Shadowcast, and 4, which is Thundercool. Well, that's not the best start. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Just double checking. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, now we have to pick our weapon type. 1 is light weapon, 2 is medium weapon, 3 is heavy weapon. So let's see. Alright, medium weapon. I'm alright with that. So now we're going to do boons and flaws. 1 to 8 again. There's 8 boons, and while there is 10 flaws, I'm just going to skip over fugitive and simple because I want to have 2 of each. We'll start with boons, I guess. These are my 2 boons. Drew them wrong. Alright, 1 and 3. So, Autodidact, Maverick. And then let's put them back in and then do our flaws. 1, 2, 4. Now I'm going to be picking my investment points. Got every number card here. Each card's going to represent 5 points into the corresponding talent. And I have 30 points to get through, so I'll draw 6 cards. So it'll go 1 is strength, 2 is fortitude, 3 is agility, 4 is intelligence, 5 is willpower, 6 is charisma, 7 is medium weapons, 8, 9, 10 for the attunements. So, see what our starting investment points are. It doesn't matter on the order I put them in, as long as before I power up, I've used those. Alright, so I think now's a good time to explain a few rules for this challenge. So when it comes to progressing, my investment points are going to be completely random. At the start of each power, I'll draw 1 card for each 5 investment points I have. So, as you just saw, I draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 10. So the 1 is 5 points into strength, the 10's 5 points into shadowcast, if that makes sense. And then when I power up, I draw 1 card for each talent hand I have. Then I have to pick whichever talent corresponds to that number. So for example, if I draw a 2, then I need to pick the second card that shows up in that hand, no matter what. And this goes the same for mantras as well. On top of this, there is no using the bank. Everything I have must have come from my progression. Although there is one exception to this rule that you'll see later. The most important feature of this challenge is the special card draws. Now, as you might know, tarot cards, you've got regular number cards, and then you have special cards like Justice, Star, World, the Fool. Those cards are in their own separate pile, and every 3 power, I will draw 3 cards from that pile, and then each of those cards will represent a punishment or a challenge or unlock something for my build that helps me progress. So for example, the Fool is a punishment where I have to lose all my knowledge. Now because there's so many of them, I'm not going to explain them all now, but there is a link in the description that has a document explaining everything I've just said and what all the cards do and a bit more. So if you do want to read that, you can, but don't feel like you have to, because I do explain every card I pick as I draw them. Now there isn't a challenge for every card because I just couldn't think of some, but I've tried to give something to all of the cards though. But with trial of 1 out the way, I can now show you all of this in action. Alright, first power up. So we got 1 to 5. 3 talents, so we're drawing 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So, we'd be taking talent 3, talent 4, and whichever the second mantra is. Ooh, Scaredy Cat could be good. We could get Conditioned Runner. Ooh, Frozen Servants I'm not mad about. That's pretty good. Alright, we need to pick our investment points. Alright, 1, 2, 3. These are our investment points. We got 4, 10, and 9. Alright, and now straight back to those talent cards. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, and 4. Give me something good. Oh, give me a good talent. That's alright. So again, 3 more cards for our investment points. We will be going for 5, 7, and 3. It's 5 willpower, 5, 7, 6, 7. Oh, 5 medium weapon, and 5 agility. And we need to do our whatever these are called. I forgot what the name for those even are. Let me take the 5 out. So we got 3, which is proficiency, and then for the next one, 4, song chant. Okay. Now that we're power 3, I'm gonna be drawing 3 cards, which each have some consequence on my gameplay. So let's see. We got 1, 2, 3. Hopefully we don't get the world straight away, because 1, that'd be pretty boring, and 2, I don't want to be fighting Atheron at power 4. Death is not a good start. Wheel of Fortune and Knight of Wands. As you've seen, that's the first special card draw. I think 2 of them are pretty self-explanatory. The Wheel of Fortune is a Wheel of Fortune, and I got very lucky. This is the exception I was on about earlier. This is the only card that lets me get items from my bank, and I just so happened to manage to roll it. Then we've got Death. Come on now. You know what that means, surely. The Knight of Wands is the only one that's not so clear. This card allows me to modify my mantras until the next power-up, which is very useless to get when you only have 1 mantra. As I'm sure you've all seen, the Ceremonied Hollow's getting a rework, and I wanted to go here to prog my build before they renovate my boy. As I'm probably the #1 Ceremonied Hollow fan. Don't ask me why, I just love to progress here. It feels so fun, even though it's like so repetitive. For some reason, I just find it fun. To avoid the video being 2 hours long, I'm not showing every single card for every single power. You can probably trust the fact that no sane person would ever choose these stat points, or willingly pick Cook's Kit and Gormad. Since I had Mark of the Lone Warrior and Maverick, it was so fast for me to progress. Each floor was pretty much giving me a whole power, so it didn't take me long until I reached power 6. Alright, we were at power 6, which is another special one, because every 3 powers, we draw from the special card pile, so we'll start just normal with the talents. I really hope I get a Shadowcast mantra, because I keep getting 10s. Hopefully on this Whisper draw, we'll see. So we got 5, 2, and 1. Swift 3 rounds, alright. And 1. Please be Shadowcast. Yes, okay. A mantra for the stat I've got like 1,000,000 points in. I don't know why I keep getting 10s, but I need Shadowcast mantras. Now I'll do the stat points, so 3 more number cards. We got 5, 8, and 10. Shadowcast again. What do I keep rolling 10s. And it's not like I'm not shuffling them, because it's a different 10 every time. Alright, now, for the important part, the special cards. I just realized I turned my mic down instead of up. I was probably really quiet for the start of that. I meant to turn myself up. Alright. 3 more. See what we get. Oh, no. We got another bad one. 2 of Cups should not be in there. I'll draw us another one. I don't know how that managed to get in there. Page of 1. Okay. That's useless. We don't have... Oh, what? This lets us use a Smith's Ally. But the Hanged Man means we gotta sell everything currently on us, including what we've got equipped. So, I'm going back to nothing. That's great. The Hanged Man. This card represents a voluntary sacrifice. So, the challenge I set for this is that I must sell all of my belongings, including what I've got equipped. And this left my inventory looking like this. I've never seen an inventory so barren. As well as this, I got the Knight of Swords, which allows me to use a Smith's Ally at one point during my progression. Since I've not got a good sword yet, I am not wasting this power, and I was saving this till I got the best weapon I could possibly have. Since the holo gives lots of items, it didn't take too long to get my things back. But still, this was just a little hiccup in my progression. But there was a bigger problem coming up. The more I progressed, the worse my stats were getting. They were so unoptimized, I couldn't even get a full hand of talents. What do you mean I've only got 5 available talents at power 7? I've never even seen a talent pool this small. Anyway, it didn't take me that long to reach power 9. Which was, of course, the next special card draw. See, I'm starting to get Shadowcast talents now, but I have no mantras. Revenge isn't going to do anything. I need Shadowcast mantras. Well, last but not least, the special cards, just putting the aces in there. Ooh, the Magician, hang on. Death and a page. But Magician means we can enchant our weapon. However, this is our starter weapon, so we can't enchant it. So I don't know why I got excited. Because that just means my only thing here is death. That's great. So I burnt to death, because had to fill that criteria. But the other card I drew was the Magician. And while this doesn't have anything to do with the actual meaning, I thought the name was fitting, that the Magician allows me to use an enchant stone, or an enchanted weapon. So at one point during my progression, I can use either an enchant stone or equip an enchant I've got. But since I'm still on the starter sword, I can't use an enchant stone, so this was still useless for me, so all I got from this power up was death. And to rub salt into the wound, I immediately got an enchant stone that I couldn't use because I'm still stuck on the starter sword. Part of this challenge I didn't mention, I'm not allowed to equip new weapons, upgrade my weapons, or upgrade my mantras without rolling a specific card. And in this case, the Queen or King of Swords allows me to equip a new sword. But I kept progressing smoothly until I hit power 12, where I got a card that made my build 10 times worse. I need the King or Queen of Swords, because I got Magician, I got an enchant stone from a chest, which is crazy, but I can't use it because my current sword is the starter sword, which you can't enchant. The Tower, King of Swords, oh my god, yes. The Tower is pointless because I'm in the deep drill. That just means I can't take any jumps from now on. So even if I wanted to leave the deep drill, can't do that. King of Swords is what we needed. It means I can change my sword. I can equip a different weapon, and then I can enchant that with my Seer enchant stone. And Justice means I have to go in Shrine of Order with this horrid stat loadout right now. This just means I'm going to lose all the Shadowcast I've built up. And it's just going to be like 17 in medium and 4 students dead. And it's going to be so hard to keep track of everything as well. That is not good. Well, game's the game. Gotta do what it says. Let's go to the Shrine of Order then. Yep, that's the Justice card. The card representing a need for balance and fairness, which I think you can probably guess is the Shrine of Order. And if you didn't see, my stat points are horrendous, and this is going to make them so much worse. Although, I did draw the King of Swords, meaning I'm allowed to swap my weapon once at some point during my progression, which I've decided to save for later once I had the best stat points possible. Oh, and I also drew the Tower, which is a card that represents an unexpected loss. The example listed is a loss of a job, so I decided to choose that as the card representing me no longer being able to use jobs, but I wasn't using any anyway, so this didn't do anything for me. What mattered was the Shrine of Order, which this could go down in history as one of the worst Shrine of Order uses of all time. Like, a freshie who doesn't know anything about the game could go to Shrine of Order and get a better deal than this. Like, look at this. And you got to remember, I can't choose my stat point allocations, so I'm removing all my points just to put them back into the same stat I took them out of. This is just a waste of 10 knowledge and a massive hit to my potential damage. It removed 20 points from Shadowcast, which was currently my highest source of damage. As well as this, like, look at this mess. Shrine of Order gave me 7 points left over. Like, look at my power 15 stats. 19, 27, 31. This is the most uneven thing I've ever seen. But anyway, speaking of power 15, this was my next special card draw, where I drew the Queen of Wands, which lets me upgrade my mantras. But thanks to Shrine of Order, I had no stat points in my attunement anymore, so I couldn't even upgrade them past level 2. Either way, I decided I should try and fight Ferryman, because that's going to make progressing so much faster, and also a good way to gauge the current strength of the build. If you look at the top left of the screen, you'll notice that took me 5 minutes. Now, if you're wondering why that's bad, I've killed Ferryman in less than 30 seconds before. 5 minutes is not a good sign. But since I was still able to kill him, I kept doing that because it's probably the fastest way for me to get to max power. Well, I would say max power if it wasn't for this happening at power 18. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Special cards. Death. Page of Wands. And I've used Shrine of Order, so different card. No fucking way, bro. That's actually horrid. Death and the World and the Page. So, screw the... screw all that. Because that means I now can't progress any further. Death just means I have to die. I'm in a void zone, so I'm going to the depths. And... that's great. That's great, that's great. That's right, the World. This card represents completion and wholeness, which for this challenge means my build is complete. I cannot put any more investment points in, which means no more powering up. Power 18 is the maximum, and I'm still stuck on a build that takes 5 minutes to do Ferryman, and now I've got to try and stand up against Etheron. As well as that, I got the Death card, and I'm in a void zone, so that means I'm going straight to the depths. But I was nowhere near ready for layer 2. Like, my mantra loadout is horrendous. Half of my mantras can't even hit Etheron. So I decided to just escape the depths, get the free whisper draw, and then go back down. I had 0 vitality, so my health was looking dire. So I used my bank item to get a good pair of drowned boots. And I also went to the Shrine of Chance to try and get Exoskeleton, which I managed to get luckily. And then I was as ready as I'd ever be to go to layer 2. But I was still stuck with the worst stat points ever and mantra loadout, and because I'd used all my knowledge on Shrine of Chance, I had no way to change it. So now I was stuck with 3 mantras that did negligible damage, 4 which couldn't even hit Etheron at all, and 1 saving grace which was Frozen Servant. So what was about to come was possibly the hardest Etheron fight I've ever done. Now, I didn't mean to include it in the video, but the chaser fight took so long. I broke all his bars, I broke every jar. Before he even collapsed the ceiling, it took that long. This is gonna be, I might run out of hunger. I'm imagining it's gonna take many cycles, based on how long that chaser fight took. Although, to be fair, I did lose my chain because it sucked. Just kill instantly. Let's see how much damage I can do in a close fight. You hardly even saw the health bar move. Shadow Seekers can't hit anything. This mantra actually sucks. I got generally the worst PvE mantras ever. I got a bunch of stuff that can hit nothing. Why'd it have to hit me? Like, he's doing acrobatics on my ass. How's he not dead? Oh my god. Oh my days. I'm throwing. Alright, look at his health bar. That's 2 claw swipes and his health bar's moved. Like, so little. Oh my god. This is worse than I thought it would be. I genuinely don't have the hunger for this. I need the claw swipe. Thank god he claw swiped. Get a little bit of extra damage in there. Okay, Frozen Servants is generally my only way to beat him. Alright, second cycle and he's not even half health yet. This is so bad. At least it's below half. Please do a full sight. Give it to me. Come on. There's no way I don't kill him here. Surely. If this doesn't kill him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. If he gets up right now. Finally. I don't even know what to say. That was 23 minutes. It's insane. That was quite possibly the longest Etheron fight I've ever done. Yep, I'm wiping this build. Just ass.